Hi everyone, it's Alex from Sigma. Today we're going to review the Microsoft Teams desk phone from Yealink model T56A. If you find this video useful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if it's not useful for you, please let me know why in the comments section below, and I'll try to do my best to improve on the next following video. So, does it make sense to have a desk phone in 2020? I can think straight away about some good use cases for it. But in all seriousness, many people still prefer to have a desk phone, like a physical device with a dial pad, with a handset. They have been doing that for the last several years, so they don't see yet a reason to change. And I think we should be enabling these people to work in the way they feel most comfortable and not saying no. We should be enabling people to work at their best. And if they prefer a desk phone device, let's give it to them. Let's make them work at their best. So what's the big deal with Microsoft Teams desk phone? It's just another desk phone, isn't it? Well, not really. It integrates very nicely into Office 365. It has multi-factor authentication. You can join meetings. You can see your calendar. You can do video call as well. There's so many things that it becomes like a central hub of communication, on its own physical form. But it still is way beyond a regular phone, desk phone, or even like any other sort of VoIP system. And because we know how much effort Microsoft is putting behind Teams, you can rest assured that a desk phone that you buy compatible with Microsoft Teams is going to be running for several years going forward. And I think that one of the main selling points of this phone system with the desk phone as well from Teams is that you can send the phone straight from the manufacturer to your end users. They just need their username and password to log in. There is no configuration whatsoever required. You can centrally control the settings from the Teams admin center in Office 365, and you can mass deploy update of firmware, of settings, that you can do pretty much anything. Oh, you can even retrieve logs from the phones, open tickets with Microsoft for bug and other things. It's very, very comprehensive. You can pretty much do a zero-touch deployment, and it lowers the requirement for IT staff to do the deployment and also the support. With very few people, you can maintain several hundreds of phones like this. Another thing to bear in mind is if you bought this same model a while ago, it was a Skype for Business phone, and Yealink released a firmware with Teams client on it, and you just need to upgrade. You need to have a license for it. There are a couple of steps you need to take, and if you want to try to do that yourself and encounter any problems, leave some comments down on the video and I'll try to assist you. And before I show you the physical phone itself and do a proper review, I'm just going to show you what can be done from the Teams admin panel, because they will answer many questions when I show you the menus on the phone. And why I'm not going deeply through all the settings is because most of them can be configured centrally from Microsoft Teams admin panel. It's a lot easier. You can deploy to hundreds of phones from a single location, so it makes no sense to be configuring to configure phones manually anymore. So let's go to devices and then phones. Here's where we can create the configuration templates to apply to phones. So I've created one here called test config, for example. Let's just show you quickly the settings. I'm going to cancel, and then I'm going to apply this to this device here. I could highlight many hundreds of them if you wanted. And we're going to assign the test config. Apply, and then that's being sent to the phone. That doesn't require a VPN, doesn't require me to touch the phone or anything. It just goes to the phone, applies in a few minutes, and then we'll come back to it. So you can see the history here. The configuration has been queued. In a couple of minutes should apply to the phone. And also on phones, if you want, you can select highlight many of them and upgrade the firmware. Again, centralized, one click, you do all of them. And also restart devices. You can also give then specific information like an asset tag and notes about this phone. Let's say a serial number or something according to your company, plus some notes, location, etc. And you can also remove the phone from here. Just remind yourself that removing the phone from this panel won't make the phone be reset to factory settings or anything. It just removes the phone from this management portal. It's pretty cool because you can get like the status of the phone, the health, version, when it was last seen, restart the phone, download device logs. It has happened to me already that I had to troubleshoot the phone with Microsoft, and instead of me touching the phone, logging remotely into the phone, now I can just from this portal download the logs from the device. It's freaking awesome. If you go to details, you can check the IP address of the device as well. You know, history, you can check what's happening with it. Yeah, it's really cool. Well, and now let's do a review of the physical phone itself. So the phone has been reset to factory and now is on its login screen. The only thing you need to do is to type a username and password. Bear in mind this phone supports multi-factor authentication, which we'll be testing here. And also there is another function that you can, on a logged in computer to Office 365, you can go to this URL, type this code, and then the phone should authenticate. It just saves you the hassle of having to type the password here, username and password here. But we're going to do this anyway for the sake of this demonstration. So now let's bring up our mobile phone. So you're going to see that once we try to log in, we get a pop-up on your phone to authorize the connection. We authorize it, and that's it. Very easy to set up this phone. So we're going to go quickly through the basic functions of this phone. So on user status, if you have a picture set up on your Office 365 profile, you should see it here. You can change your status and messaging and so on. If you want to search for your contacts, you can just press it here and then type the name of the person. The call history. This list here are all my calls that are received, made, missed, and you can also check the calendar. So we have events here. You can join events directly in here. So let's join this one to test. This is a meeting room. I'm in the meeting room. I can check who is participating in this meeting here. Oops. Yep. Can also like put people on hold and put myself on hold, or mute loudspeaker. Let me return to the meeting. Close. And the voicemail is very interesting. It transcribes your voice message to text. You can also play straight from here.
Hi Jen, it's Alex testing your voicemail, just making sure everything is working fine. Thank you.
So, very straightforward. You can increase the speed of the voicemail when you're hearing it. You also receive a call by email. Very, very interesting. Let's go to settings. So, settings of the phone, I'm going to go very quickly through all of this here. But one of the nice things is to enable dark theme. I enjoy working a lot more with devices with dark theme. But for the sake of this presentation, we're going to have it back to normal mode. Back in settings, things that are relevant here. So, calling, and then if you want to enable call forwarding, if it rings other phones at the same time as yours, what it does when the call is not answered. About section, just to check the version of the app. Help, it opens a web browser and it goes to Microsoft website, Teams help section. The most important part of the phone is device settings. But bear in mind, lots of these settings can be changed centrally from the Teams admin panel across many phones. You can create templates, very useful. So you can change time zone, display settings. Phone lock is quite interesting because if you have a VIP person, you can control the phone to lock after a certain amount of minutes, avoiding other people to make phone calls from his phone. Bluetooth, well, just connected Bluetooth headsets. Not fully working. I've tested. Has some hiccups. I heard that in Q2 2020 should be fixed. Wi-Fi is working fine. I managed to get this phone already connected, make and receive phone calls on the Wi-Fi, not a biggie. Yeah, debug, just reboot the phone. About, that is where you get IP address, MAC address, firmware version. That's where actually it becomes useful for troubleshooting. And let's go to the admin section here. So you can disable the additional ports to daisy chain computers, VLAN, IP address, and so on. Port authentication as well. Debug. You can actually reset the phone to factory settings, but it's quite useful. You can send logs from this phone directly to Microsoft from here. There is a way to send like feedback to Microsoft if you find a bug on a phone. Pretty useful. And yeah, change the admin password. That's pretty much it. So let's go back. So what are the things that don't work well with this phone? Just two at the moment. You can't see the address list from global access list in Exchange Online, and you can't sync yet your Outlook contacts to the phone. The only contacts you see at this time are the people on your Teams server. But this should be fixed on Q1 2020. I have already spoken to the manufacturer about this. And the Bluetooth that is not working properly. So they have promised as well they should be fixing this soon. There is a roadmap that I read saying that this phone will have an intercom function later on this year, so you can connect this to a door entry system to display the video feed on the screen, and I think possibly even unlocking the door. Paging as well should be available, but yeah, that's pretty much it that I've seen that's relevant on the roadmap. So a quick conclusion about this phone. Why would you use it? Well, you want to give the flexibility to your users. If they want to have a desk phone, or if your company requires them to have a desk phone, you can give the option, but without having all the admin overhead of managing that fleet of phones. You can maintain all of them from a central location. You can update them, you can push settings to them. It's very straightforward, and you can do drop shipping. You can get the phone sent directly from a warehouse, straight from remote branches anywhere across the country or even outside the country. People plug it in. There are no VPNs, no network settings, anything. Just username and password, and they are ready to go. It's very, very simple. So you might be asking yourself if this is a solid solution now, if it is stable enough, and I can definitely say yes, it is. I've been using for nearly 2 months now. I've been using it as my daily phone, and it hasn't crashed once. It has worked pretty well. Comparing to other more traditional desk phones, I would say this doesn't leave anything outside what it would be expecting from a phone. Plus, they offer lots of more features. Being able to join meetings from it, voicemail transcript. God, there are so many different ways, and it's fully integrated with Office 365. It's one username and password for all your services, including your desk phone. That's really cool. I can honestly say, yeah, it's a good purchase, it's good value, and your employees are going to be very happy with it. So if you like the video, please give a thumbs up, and if there is anything that I can do to improve it, or if you have any questions, drop on those on the comment box down below. And if you need any assistance with your project, implementation, or anything else, please contact us. We'll be happy to assist you. Thank you.